Good morning and welcome to our Take 10 reflection for this week. All of us at some point or other, and no doubt on numerous occasions, have been faced with the choice whether or not to forgive the wrongdoings of another. We often struggle to forgive because we somehow expect our emotions, our feelings to align with our ability to forgive. But Holocaust survivor Corrie ten Boom says this: forgiveness is an act of the will, and the will can function regardless of the temperature of the heart. Forgiveness is both a choice and a process. The first mistake that we often make is to say, I will forgive when I feel it in my heart and my emotions. The second mistake is to think that forgiveness is some kind of magic formula that puts everything right. Neither of those are true. Let's be real. Forgiveness is hard. Forgiveness is challenging. But the person who suffers most when we choose not to forgive is us, ourselves. By holding on to pain and hurt, anger and resentment, we keep ourselves bound, and we effectively give the power to that other person to keep us bound. Unforgiveness only serves to perpetuate the pain and hurt, the anger and the resentment. We must understand that forgiveness does not ignore or change what has happened. It doesn't condone or excuse the actions, behaviours or words of another. But what it does do is prevent their actions from destroying our hearts. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it definitely has the power to change the future. Forgiveness is a conscious and deliberate decision, and it is the first step in the process towards healing. Why? Because forgiveness liberates the giver. It is a gift you give to yourself. It's important to understand that forgiveness is not a magic formula that puts relationship back on the same footing. When hurt has been caused, whether intentional or not, trust is broken. And trust is a delicate entity and will take time to re-establish. It is vitally important for us to differentiate between the act of forgiveness and the ability to trust. The one does not automatically or easily lead to the other. For our own benefit, forgiveness must be a priority and must be as immediate as possible. But trust takes time. Trust requires in a relationship a good track record. We should always seek true reconciliation. But reality is that on occasion, the rebuilding of trust is nigh on impossible. Think of unforgiveness like a giant weight. When we choose to hold on to the hurt and not forgive, we choose to carry that weight around with us. And unfortunately, we will feel the negative effects of that weight in a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual sense. If you are faced with a situation and you recognize this internal struggle to forgive, remember this: Forgiveness does not condone or excuse the words or behaviours of another person. Forgiveness is your gift to yourself. Forgiveness and trust do not go hand in hand. Forgiveness allows you to move on and has the power to change your future. In closing, let me read one of my bookmark quotes this has helped me to get through a number of times of hurt in my own life. It says, "Give, but do not allow yourself to be used. Love, but don't allow your heart to be abused. Trust, but don't be naive. Listen, but don't lose your own voice." I hope that in some way you found these simple thoughts helpful. I look forward to seeing you next week.